Hello everyone, James Jackson here, and I got another review video light for you guys today. Today we are going to be looking at the Godox ML100R. I will be going over my experience with the light, what I think it's the best thing, and the thing that you possibly maybe want to consider if you're considering getting this light. I also want to talk about quite a few of the quirks with this light and maybe why you may want to pass this up or maybe explore some other options. But all that and more in today's video. What's going on, everybody? My name is James Jackson. If you're new here, I do tips, tricks, news, and reviews for the film and video making industry. So if this is content that you like, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can stay up to date on all the content going forth. So, as I mentioned, we are going to be talking about this light, but full disclosure at first, Godox did send me this light. I do get to keep the light and I can sell it if I want to. But outside of that, there's been no money exchange at hands, and Godox will not see this video before I release it. And I've not been told to say anything. They just gave me the light and just let me do testings and basically told me to tell you guys what I thought. And that is what I'm going to do. And I've been having this light for 2 months now, and I've used it on several projects. Small lights like these have always been an interesting thing, whether if it is the Molus X60 like I got right here, or if we're talking about the Cobar 100 watt light. You got these small portable lights, even something like the Nanlite Forza 60 and Forza 150 lineups. These small lights that are very light compact, but also the trade-off of a lot of these small lights is the fact that they have their own proprietary mount. And I've always felt that there's always a place for lights like these. And I definitely think that's the case with this. With lights like these, I always felt that these are something that are very specific requirements. In the case with a lot of these lights, especially at this power of like 60, 100, 150 watt, usually we're going to use these as kicker, or we're going to use these to hit specific parts of the scene. Most of these are not going to be used as key lights. While if you can get it pretty close and if you got the right modifier, could you use it? You absolutely could. But I feel these do a lot better in terms of specific needs, particularly hair lights, edge lights, kickers, lifting up certain parts of the scene, hitting certain parts of the scenes. And that's really how I have been using the ML100R. And let's go into sort of what you get in the case first. So right here, you guys can see I have the case here, and it's pretty much a very simple set. There's not much in it when you just get sort of like the basic. You get, of course, the light itself, you get the handle, you get, and then the AC power cable. And that is pretty much it. I will say, and this is kind of go into my first negative into it, I do believe that you are going to need additional accessories with this light for me to get the best out of it. The first one being is replacing this handle. Now, actually, so right now I have the Godox light and I have the attachment. My first bigger critique is that the light stand holder that comes with it is honestly very, very subpar. It has like a really hard plastic design to it, and it feels like it holds its own, but just the design of it just makes no sense. Here's the first problem that I don't like, is that because this, for some odd reason, and I don't know why Godox did it, they decided to make one side of the knob longer, to the point that if this is like up, this can be problematic. And you'll see why this is problematic right here as I screw this on. So this screws on, and then if we were to try to unloosen it, you can see right here, this to me, this is just not really a wise, especially if you have to be quick and move, make adjustments. this is not really the most intense design. The other thing is, because again, as you can see, this part here is longer, it makes it much difficult to get, if I want to loosen this up, it's really difficult. Look, I got big hands, I know that, so that may be me, but I feel like, so now I have to loosen this up and then to take this off right here. And again, it's still a little bit of a pain because you got this umbrella part right here. And so I don't like this lamp holder right here. It's just, it becomes way too problematic. There is also an alternative that comes out, which is this right here. This is their V-mount holder. This is much better built design. It's got a ratchet design, which strangely enough, this does not have a ratchet. This does not have a ratchet design to it, and I think that was a huge mistake. This does, however, have a ratchet design, and what you'll see here is that this is so much easier to make rapid adjustments, to adjust the angle that you want to of the light. This fits so much better. So because this right here is also a V-mount plate, I can take a V-mount battery like this and attach it, and then you get a little D-tap, a nice little D-tap right here. We can power the light. And this is actually, let's break this down because this is quite bright at 100%. That was 100%, but as you can see, it's quite bright. And then I can take this off the light stand. So if I want to be a little bit more mobile, this is such a much better option. And this, I guess, is a good time to talk about the next sort of design that I don't like, which is this Fresnel that comes with it, which is the ML100R. There is a noticeable hotspot on this device. So what I decided to get is this right here, which is the MLZ, which is sort of a zoom focused Fresnel. And I like this a lot more. By the way, the combination of this zoom Fresnel and this V-mount holder is altogether about 60 bucks. I would say at least the handle is an absolute must-have. There's other accessories along with the zoom that you could do, and I'll show them in a second. But the fact that now I have a little bit more control over where I can spot it or I can flood it, it's not a very clean spot or flood. But I do like this a lot more than the standard dish, that comes with it, or the standard reflect intensifier that comes with it. I like this a lot more. And altogether, these two are about 60 bucks, so they're not much. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a link to a fellow YouTuber. She actually has a great channel, and she's covered all over a lot of the accessories that come with the ML100. The ones that I find the most interesting is the snoot that basically acts as a spot flood like this, but it's way more focused and more precise. I think that is a great option. There's a square diffusion with this that I think it works great. And there's also an air tube similar to like the light bank, but much smaller in design, that you can go use with this as well. I think those accessories are great options, including a series of like magnetic diffusions that you can put onto this as well. So I'll leave a link to all of these accessories in the description below. Really, again, the standard dish and then the handle are really my two main gripes with this light. Everything else is pretty positive. The light quality out of this is excellent. The light output is fantastic, especially if you got the right modifiers to go along with it. They do have an adapter that you can go to Bowen's mount with this, and I did compare it to the Aputure 400X using the light bank modifier, and it does fill out the light bank modifier. So that's a significantly small footprint, which I think this is sort of the big positivity about this light is just how small. Now, when you compare it to something like the Molus X60, the Molus X60 is definitely smaller, but this is, again, 100 watts. Also, the Molus X60, while it is an RGBW light, there's no green and magenta correction on this light. Whereas this does have green and magenta correction happening on this light. And then of course, it's also, while taller than something like the Cobar W100, this is way more evenly spread out. It doesn't have as much of a noticeable hotspot as this light, but because this is such a much more concentrated light than the Cobar, you also can get a better you can get more intensity and more output. And when I'm doing hair and edge lights, that's to me the more important thing, is making sure that I can be able to really push and really pump out as much power and much output that I can. So in terms of power, this, even though this is an RGBW light, this puts out more power than the Cobar, and not only does it put out more output than the Molus X60, it also has green magenta corrections to it. And again, the light is excellent, and really the compact nature is the really selling thing. I mean, again, like, even if I was, the beauty about it is if you can get this zoom Fresnel, you can leave it attached and it will fit into the case, and you can put the cable that connects to the top handle in there as well. Now, you won't be able to fit the top handle in the original case, but you can pretty much fit everything else. And then it's just like this little travel pack, small little travel pack, is just what you get. And that to me is such a huge advantage to have, that where if I'm just traveling, what if it's like something within, if it's within state, for a job, or if I'm like traveling abroad, or traveling somewhere where I have to take a flight, having something that is just really just this compact nature, where I can literally put out a good amount of light relatively easy, and I got a full color light that I can put out to really give certain finesse and adjustments to the scene. In my real world use cases, I have been using this light, like I said, as a hair light, and as that, along with this handle and the Fresnel lens, it's been amazing with that. I really do love the fact that I can put batteries on here, and it can make it really easy, and it's portable. And if I need to do something, especially I'm looking to get that air tube accessory, but if I do get the air tube, that's a nice little accessory that if I need to throw in maybe a fill, again, this isn't really designed to be a key light. It can be, but I really look at this more as a fill light. I could use this to throw in and fill out some of the scene. It's the fact that how travel and compact it is really the key selling point on this. At least in terms of comparing to the Aputure 400X, I found that the 400X is 2.5 stops brighter than the Godox ML100R, which makes sense. Number one, even though it is a full color light, it is designed mainly to be a more bicolor light, but also 2.5 stops, again, makes sense, because that's roughly what you would expect, because a full stop would be a 200 watt light, another stop would be a 400 watt light. So it does make sense. So it's right up what you would expect to get with a light like this. I've really enjoyed it. And again, to me, it's just the travel nature. Like if I'm just going small, if I'm going with my family, but I want to just like maybe edge something, just to throw some definition into a shot, this is what I use, because it's a really easy to set up. This, and then my GVM PD60, which to me is still one of the best. But I think really what will sell this is the accessories. So I definitely recommend getting the accessories, and I'll leave links to all the accessories in the description below for you to check out. I think those are the big selling points for a light like this, because just out of the box, to me, it leaves more to be desired. But when you start factoring in the accessories, and that's another thing that I really admire with something like the Nanlite Forza 60s, what I admire with GVM with their PD60s, is that these are like smaller, like proprietary smaller size Bowens mounts, But all three that I mentioned there, they have a huge plethora of accessories that you can purchase to go with it. And if you're going to have a proprietary mount like Godox has, like Zhiyun has with this, and Cobar with this, you gotta have like a huge library of accessories that are readily accessible and easy to use. And I think Godox does have, I think, quite a bit of accessories that you can use with this light. I really haven't had any issues. I've used this as a hair light, and all I need really is like 20%, and it basically is enough to kick and give a kicker for anything that I do. Again, outside of those two things that come with the case, that I feel like they must be replaced. This has been a great experience with it. But let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you guys have any questions regarding the Godox ML100R. I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know. Leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everyone.